Do you know how many insults I get on a regular basis about my turban, about the gurus, about when I'm walking past you?
Why do you think that is, Raj?
What I'm saying
They call you a pigeon, Raj. All the time they call you pigeon.
No, I'm talking about religious stuff. Yeah, I know the pigeon. Everyone knows about that.
This is a Western democracy. We're not in Saudi Arabia. We're not under Sharia law. People here do not know your religion.
But look at all these Muslims, they're fine. I don't understand.
Okay, they are fine, but the people that actually caused this incident were not fine. And they could justify their actions with the book of Islam.
As Raj said, Speaker's Corner is the home of free speech, has been for many, 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 many years. If people cannot hack freedom of speech, then as Raj said, the gate is that way.
So today I'm going to reveal what the Dawah actually have as a manual to propagate their religion.
I'll lead, of course.
And you mentioned the names, I'm not really involved with them.
Who is the giver, not the taker?
Yeah, I know, I can't help it. Oh, they're going to edit that now.
Come on, we've actually got
they won't need to, it won't be that long.
One,
It'll be no
2,
15
3,
minutes.
4.
Are you going to lead after him, or do you want me to?
I don't know what I'm here for.
Yeah, so I'll
no, because you're the one.
All right, so are you started?
Yeah.
Tell us when to.
Yes.
Action!
Okay.
So basically, I was going to stay away from Speaker's Corner one more week because for the Sikhs, it was a very important religious month. But I saw something last week that I thought was very troubling for me because it reminds me of stuff that's happened to me, and it was some individuals coming to the park last week that I know from online who have threatened me as well with acid and stuff like this. And these individuals, M Stacks, yeah, he's from Birmingham, Sheikh One from South London, I think, and then Grey Dunya, Haider Ali comes here, and there's a couple of other people that I can find it in, and I will find out their names. We're all down here acting thug.
They assaulted William.
Yeah.
They assaulted a guy here, and then he was threatening me, said if I come out, that he will attack me. So I said, if he does that, we'll perform a citizen's arrest.
Now, I will say again, if you look down there, there's an exit. When you walk, and there's an entrance. When you walk into Speaker's Corner, you're choosing to walk into here. No one's forcing you. So if you don't like what you're hearing, you can just leave. Yeah, it's unacceptable that you're walking around trying to implement some kind of Sharia law because you don't like the fact that your religion is being cursed. Now, if you don't like it, then don't promote your religion here. If you don't want to be criticised, don't come here. Now, both Steve, yeah, and also Yakub, so far mispronounced.
No, Yakub.
Yakub was actually involved, and he's going to kind of take you through what happened because I've spoken to the individuals that the incident occurred, and they told me they were not the aggressors, and the individual that they went for, we're not going to say his name, that he hit them or kind of intimidated with a stick and was cussing out their Prophet and Aisha. So can we just clarify what actually happened?
I disagree with that assessment. First of all, I'd like to thank the well-wishers on different channels. I saw a lot of people, and even Steve himself on Twitter, because you're usually against the Christian crowd. So
I wouldn't say that.
I would say it's not anyone supporting on this is not supporting because of my faith or me as a personality. People are seeing an injustice go on, and they want to talk about this injustice, and it's anti-Semitism. That is really what went on. A person here, I won't call his name, of Jewish persuasion, we heard some heckling from the background. The heckling went as sus. He said, "You insulted Aisha, you insulted the Prophet." That was the first acclamation, a proclamation from the hecklers. And it was led in with another direct, "You Jew boy." Now, when I heard that statement, then I realized that this is becoming a racist incident, that I needed to get involved. So what I tried to do is one of the guys, the shorter as the
Haider Ali.
Yeah, the Bangladeshi guy.
Grey Dunya, his name is.
He launched at this Jewish person, and he struck him.
Right.
At that moment, I tried to intercede to, part both sections so that nothing else would happen. I was met with a threat myself, which was come outside. Now, a lot of people.
So that is the part that the video started.
Yeah, that's what the part of the video. So the altercation and the racial slurs had already gone on. So that's down to the interpretation.
And you saw it's the smaller, because Grey Dunya, you're a regular here. You come in nearly every week, and I hope the police are looking at this. Although the individual hasn't gone to the police, and that's one of the big problems we need to talk about. People not reporting stuff because things go under the radar. Then, so yeah, just
sorry, the interruption's okay. First of all, I want to make my mission clear. I'm here as a Christian missionary. I'm not really here to fight anybody or get involved in unnecessary conversations that lead to people getting angry and causing violence. I was trying to play peacemaker. That was all I tried to do. And I'll go with scripture. I won't bore you guys with a religious sermon, but I'm going to drop 2 verses to explain my reasons.
No, he's the only pagan.
Okay. Matthew chapter. They shall be called. Okay.
Nothing wrong with a good bit of pagan.
Okay, so let's get some scripture here. Matthew chapter 5 verses 9 to 10 from the Muslim audience there that day, saying, "Oh, I'm instigating stuff." No, I was trying to play peacemaker. You persecuted me. I'm happy enough with that. You're forgiven. I've got no bad blood, and I have no reason to challenge. The second scripture: "Blessed are ye when men will revile you, persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so they persecuted the prophets that were before you." Now, I had to drop these 2 scriptures from Matthew chapter 5, verses 9 to 12. I dropped them for a specific reason. As a Christian missionary, I'm here to preach the gospel. If you insult me or try and hit me, I'm not going to be offended, because my religion tells me to be prepared for that. But what I will not allow is somebody saying, "Oh, you Jew boy," and I'm going to attack him. I think as a community, we have to say no to this. Speaker's Corner is a place where people like Karl Marx have come in the past and expressed their thoughts on whatever. And people are doing that now. Some people will be against your religion. If you have a soft heart and you cannot hear the truth, I'll advise you to stay away from here, because you're going to hear a lot of provocative statements that might discourage you. And intelligent men will learn how to control their passions. So the Muslim audience, you're always the ones being instigated. We're not seeing Christian missionaries running around like a pack of hyenas, and we're not seeing Sikhs or Hindus.
I will say it's mainly the Sunni Muslims, because the Shias also have the problem.
Oh yes, I
a lot
agree
of
with
Shias
that.
can't come to the part, because if they say something against the Sahaba or Aisha, they get more attacked than us. So we need to clarify that it's not. And there are some Muslims here that are doing a great job, and the individuals that are coming down are actually doing anti-dawah. They're actually ruining their community's reputation, not just within Speaker's Corner, because it goes out worldwide, around the world.
I'm going to challenge that thought after Steve speaks. I have a disagreement. I think it's actually Islam, and I'll put this as a statement, and I'll provide my sources to agree with my statement. And you're one of my hecklers behind. Yeah, you're one of the hecklers in the crowd.
Hecklers, have I heckled you? Did I heckle you right now? Did I heckle you right now? Well, you're the one that was heckling me. I didn't heckle you.
Get in there, stop boiling.
You're chatting shit, man. Shut up, man.
There you go. At least we got one on camera. They always deny.
I have to be honest with you, he's normally pretty sensible.
Well, he wasn't last week. He was acting like a plonker.
Because I was just talking to him today. He's like one of the people that I've... Can I just say?
No. I saw you.
Hudson
boy.
Can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing?
Say one thing, right?
In all fairness, I know everyone's saying do it. In all fairness, I've seen this guy hear the most amount of abuse against the prophet and stuff.
I don't care.
So I'm not sure, maybe he was just following, but I've heard him never use his temper. Him personally.
He's a muppet. Last week he was different. I'm very straightforward with my words, and I don't play games
Fuck
with
you too,
men.
man. Fuck you
there you
too.
go, and that's
Fuck
the
you
attitude.
too, man.
And this is going to lead on to the Dean of Islam. It's the Jedi mind trick. You'll understand it later on.
Yeah, let's get
to
Steve.
What I was going to say, this sort of aggression and violent attack that happened last week, unfortunately 2 or 3 years ago had become pretty much the norm in Speaker's Corner. But over the last
confirmation.
Silence, boys. But over the last 2 or 3 years, we've really worked on stamping it out. Both the Speaker's Corner forum, the regulars, working hand in hand with the police, we have stamped out the vast majority of that violence that was happening 2 or 3 years ago. And basically, there is a long list of people that are now being banned, people that have been convicted, people that have been put on exclusion orders to take these troublemakers away from Speaker's Corner. So the typical reality is now that we have far fewer examples of this violent act but unfortunately it seemed to have crept back last week. But believe me, I can assure you the regulars and the police will do everything we can to make sure that that violence does not creep back to
And
Speaker's
guess who was
Corner.
back last week? Mohammed
Well,
Tawi.
precisely.
Is it
And
a
we're-
coincidence?
And we know some of the culprits who have been banned from Speaker's Corner and are still continuing their nonsense online in live streams, 7, even 11-hour streams I think I heard about, where they're just baiting each other and taunting each other and whipping up violence. But I tell all of them, you ain't returning here and doing it here, because the police and the Speaker's Corner regulars will stop at nothing to make sure that you're banned, along with all the other violent thugs who've been banned from Speaker's Corner. But what the police do continually say is they can do very, very little unless the victims speak to the police, unless the victims make reports to the police. Now, we will support them. The regulars will support them in doing that. But if they don't do that, the police's hands are really tied in dealing with these violent thugs that we do not want at Speaker's Corner. As Raj said, Speaker's Corner is the home of free speech, has been for many, 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 many years. If people cannot hack freedom of speech, then as Raj said, the gate is that
Over
way.
there, man.
If you can't handle people dissing your religion, dissing your prophet, the gate is that way. Leave. Don't knowingly come to Speaker's Corner, the home of free speech, and be so damn thin-skinned that you want to punch someone for doing no more than speaking words. Because you're a little sad little boy and a sad little thug. You shouldn't be out on the streets, let alone in Speaker's Corner, the home of free speech. So have some damn tolerance, accept the fact that your religion, your sensitivities might be inflamed. But if you can't handle that anger, stay away. Because if you don't stay away, the police will make you stay away. The regulars of Speaker's Corner will make you stay away. And
He's going to jump in.
and what I'm going to call to the
getting
many
he's getting
good,
really
decent Muslims that come to Speaker's Corner, join us in dealing with these idiots, with these violent thugs. Because believe me, they are not doing your religion any good. Believe me, they are not doing good dawah when they thump someone for no more than speaking nasty, hurty words. Believe me, that is doing the biggest damage to your faith and your religion. So I plead upon the Muslim brothers, and I know some of them believe, oh, we mustn't criticize our Muslim brothers publicly. Well, that is doing seriously bad dawah. That is doing bad stuff to the Islamic faith. And one of them who's standing here now with a camera, who's just walked away, who got triggered in my face earlier for some unknown reason, is the man himself. No, I don't want to shake your hand. And he takes his, he apologises now and he removes his mask. Can I say, any adult that comes to Speaker's Corner with a face mask should not be here. But unfortunately, the police's hands are tied because the current law does not allow the police to remove force masks.
He's racist. He's racist. He's racist.
And what were you calling me earlier? What were you calling me earlier?
Racist.
Oh, no.
Okay, Steve.
He's a Nazi.
Nasty, hurty words.
I
Are
apologize.
you so thin-skinned? You cannot have nasty, hurty
The
words.
EDL are not welcome here too.
Okay.
There's no EDL here.
Unless you got
Where are EDL? Are there any EDL
unless you got
here?
thick skin.
Silence. You see?
Hudson.
You're living a delusion.
When they did this last time I was here, they were here.
This
I
applies
got
to
threatened so many
including
times by
Sikhs.
them.
Because even with Sikhs, even with Hindus, any religion that comes in, if you can't take what you're going to hear, don't walk in. You're volunteering to walk in. No one's asking you to stand there and listen. No one's telling you to come in. Now these people walking past, they might not know what's going on there, yeah, in that sense. But if you do know what's happening, and the reason you come down from Birmingham, like M-Stacks, and all of these guys,
Travelling all the way down from Birmingham to London, getting here, covering your face, and
a burqa.
physically smacking people. I mean, you're a bit of a loser, aren't you?
All right.
You're one hell of a bit of a loser.
I do thank Steve. Hudson was actually going to... I have a different analysis to these gentlemen. I think you're being very kind. I actually believe that Islam is the cause of this. And we have seen this pattern for way too long here. Missionaries being threatened. I've been threatened many times, evidence to it. And this is what the Dawah program. So today I'm going to reveal what the Dawah actually have as a manual to propagate their religion.
It's the area, man.
So we're going to expose the trajectory.
Where is Adnan Rashid?
And it's called the Dean of Islam.
Adnan Rashid!
So hear this out. This is very interesting. Islam is a deen, a way of life, not a religion. Mark this out. This is what the Islamic Brotherhood, who made the Dawah program. Islam is a deen, a way of life, not a religion, as the West mostly understand it. It is an ideology, a code of conduct that governs an entire spectrum of human life, individual and collective. So when we have groups of people that mass together to intimidate those that go against their religion, or we have two misguided Muslim men, or three to be exact, and they say, oh, you insulted our prophet, you Jew boy. We only need to go to Quran 9:29. And it says, fight
This is
those...
not necessarily our views.
No,
This is
not
the
yours.
Christian's view, so that's
It
not
says,
necessarily mine.
fight the unbelievers where you find them, and those that don't believe in Allah and his, his apostle, and the people of the book, until they pay the jizya, make sure they submit.
Shall we let the Great White Hope
if you are join us,
Great White Hope, join him in. The Great White Hope, come in.
If you are
Come on,
challenged,
come on, the Great White Hope, come on.
please do not disturb my narrative. I've been patient to hear everybody, and I'm not here to actually entertain myself. I don't like cameras, I'll be very frank with you. I'm just here to do one civic duty, and I'll be off. But the point I'm saying is that the Dean of Islam has encouraged, not this guy, I really respect you, you've always Islam. Well, you do follow Islam, but you're not a Muslim in the sense of the guys. No, you're not the example. You're in the sense of what those guys were following the traditions that believe, that fight. I'm not saying everything has to be
You're
violent.
cherry picking a couple of people.
No, not necessarily. Fighting can come in generic. You can do passive aggression. You can use physical aggression. Let's be like
Can I
adults
just
here.
say something?
We're not talking with
Can I
people
just
with
say,
low
bro,
intelligence quotation.
One of the things I found disappointing wasn't necessarily, like I knew them guys, they're thuggish anyway, but it was the response when they come back from Speaker's Corner and online, everyone's saying big them up, big them. There's only two people I won't say their names, and you condemn them. And I'm not saying you're
Right,
one of them.
one thing.
So that was my problem.
I don't know what happened that day.
The big up to them. That they come
Yeah, it's really important I get my message, because I was the one that was threatened out to come outside. So like I said, I am at peace with everyone. My Bible tells me, if you persecute me, I will, my God will do whatever he wants to bless me. That is not the issue. There was an anti-Semitic incident, and the guys that were responsible for it did not take responsibility for it. And the community cannot do anything, because the guy that was actually assaulted will not press charges with the police. People that come here to have free speech cannot be curtailed because certain people think that they can roam as pack of wolves to attack people of other faiths that disagree. If you are coming to Speaker's Corner, there are many people here that do not agree with Muhammad's way of life. That is a fact that you have to deal with yourself. This is a Western democracy. We're not in Saudi Arabia. We're not under Sharia law. People here do not know your religion.
But look at all these Muslims, they're fine. I don't understand.
Okay, they are fine, but the people that actually caused this incident were not fine. And they could justify their actions with the book of Islam, which is the Quran. I can give you the verses, I can give you the tafsir. 329, fight those that don't believe in Allah in the last day. Simple, fight. It did not say you have to behead them or that, that's 812. But 929 says it clearly. Fight can be in passive aggression. I can insult you, that's fighting. Fighting can be very generic. And that's what I'm saying, that they're following the traditions. Why did they say Jew boy? Why did they mention that word? What was the point of mentioning the religion of the guy that they attacked? Why would they be upset with a Jewish guy speaking about their prophet? Because their religion teaches them that narrative.
Join us.
Now,
Join the line.
I do not believe that all Muslims are troublemakers. I believe it's a small minority of Muslims that don't know how to act. Cultural Muslims, a lot of other Muslims here, there are many I've gone to have coffee with, and they're cool and calm. There are many here that actually one of the cameramen of the Dawah is my friend for 20-something years. But we keep it under, I'm not going to mention his name. I'm going to keep it quiet.
not that one. Okay,
not that one.
The one of the Daily
There
Mail.
are other people here that have been caught on, that are in the Old Bailey for very serious charges.
But it wasn't him, they said.
Regardless.
I'll let him finish. You finish.
So my narrative is, please Muslims, stop heckling to cause aggression. Take example of this gentleman here. He has never been nasty. He never has to say an evil thing. you know,
He's a great white hope.
well, he's
DJ was his friend.
I respect him, and somebody I respect. And this is the kind of character that we would expect from the Muslims. Listen to other people's views. If you don't like it, it's very easy to walk away. But leave
If I'm the
violence.
sort of one you expect, then you're going against what you're saying about Islam. Because if I'm following Islam, or do you believe I'm not following Islam?
I
Your
personally,
opening statement was-
I don't see you as a Muslim. I just think you're one of those that has taken the traditions and you've got a romanticized view of
So a
Islam.
Muslim to you is someone who goes around insulting people and punching people.
I would say
and
that
that's your
my view of a Muslim, if you go to the Sahara where I'm from and see what's going on there, you understand Islam. I think the guys here, you're cultural Muslims. You're not living, because if you look at the Sunnah of the Hadith, it says that a real Muslim will not live with the unbelievers. So that alone just disproves your religion. So please, I don't want to come here to preach a theology, but I don't regard cultural Muslims as Muslims. That's the reality of my view.
I'm not a cultural Muslim.
Well, you're not born. You say you're a real Muslim, that you follow the Sunnah and everything. Okay, that's fair enough.
believe in
But I don't
Allah?
see you as a Muslim as the ones from where I come from. That's my opinion. But your faith is between you and
Can I
your
summarise
God.
what you sort of used the actions of a couple of people down here? It'd be a bit like me saying, look, Bob the Builder smacked someone in the face with the Quran. The Christians need to sort this out, and they're coming down here. I've been down here. I've come down here for the past year and a half.
Okay.
Would you agree that there's mostly Muslims down here?
I don't know. I wanted to see
When
with
you
that
walk
assessment.
around, you're here every week. There's more Muslims than everyone else. So by ratio, you'd expect there to be more incidents. You've also got a lot more people criticising Islam than you have anyone else. You guys are called DCCI.
I'm not DCCI.
Okay, well some of you.
There you go.
Some,
I'm from
okay,
another
sorry,
missionary.
some of you
So
are.
this is another misstatement.
Okay,
because
fine.
a lot of
Let
people.
me finish.
I will.
Right,
But online, a lot of people say I'm not in DCCI. I'm an evangelist. I'm
Well,
a
put it this
street
way,
preacher.
I only really hear you talking about Islam most of the time when I see you. That could be coincidence. But if I see you, if I see Kane, people like this, all I ever see is mostly about the Prophet piece, whatever. Mostly
The Prophet.
Mostly quite vile stuff. Do you agree?
Okay, I'll say one thing. A lot of Muslims come here and they tell me that I insult the Prophet and I've insulted Allah. Name one thing I've said about the Prophet on any video.
I can't say you. I can't say you. But
I
have
talk
you not
about,
seen others do
no,
it? Have
you
not
know
seen
what I
others
do? I'm here, and this is where
This is
Hudson
not
will
personal,
make
me
it.
versus
I know
you.
it's
This is
not.
not
I
me
know.
personally,
But
yeah.
I'll be very frank. I talk about the deen of Islam, the way of life. I don't believe Islam's a religion, so I don't waste my time on the Prophet or Allah. I talk about the attitudes where violence is used as intimidation tactics. That is the deen of Islam. That's what I'm here to talk about.
Look, if you walk from that end to that end of Speaker's Corner, and you walk past, and I've tried it, you will see at least 3 people talking badly about the Prophet. You won't hear that about Jesus. You won't hear
What
that
do they
about
say
Christianity.
badly about the Prophet? Let's say, give us an example.
It could be anything. Camel
No,
urine.
say one
It could be
thing.
camel
What-
urine.
Did he talk about camel
I've heard you
urine?
talk about. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but did the Prophet
are
talk
you
about
using-
camel urine?
Yes.
This is-
Yes.
So what's that talking bad about it?
Look, let me finish my point.
fact.
You can walk down.
Oh, don't put yourself in the gutter. Be sensible.
No, look.
listen,
Be genuine.
I'm in the conversation as well, man. I'm not allowing it.
The point is, you walk from this end to this end, and you will hear a variety of people going against Islam constantly, week after week. So there are more Muslims, and there are more people criticising Islam. So by ratio, you should have more incidents. I actually don't see many incidents from Muslims down here when I come down here. I actually think the Muslims are very patient down here. I think they show themselves very well.
Okay.
I think Tan is an example. Tan was down here for a whole year saying he wants to depopulate Muslims, masturbate on the Quran, throw it on the floor. Let me finish. Tan was barely touched. So I think big up the Muslims. The Muslims didn't do anything to him. But by your logic, you're saying
Except when he had to get on
should
a
have been
bus
killed.
for his own safety.
He should have been killed. That was
when
only
he got on the magical bus.
I like
only when he
by
turned
my
on.
logic.
That was only
by
when.
my logic.
That was only when he turned
That's
on
a
the Tommy Boys.
misinterpretation.
That was only when
I
he
have to
turned
be
on the-
honest. One of the things I will intercede when I feel a misinterpretation of my voice. Like I said, I'm here to talk about. I don't believe Islam's a religion because the Dawah program says Islam's not a religion. That is not my opinion. That's the Islamic Brotherhood that made the Dawah program. That you guys are all.
Why haven't I
representing.
seen the Dawah program?
I don't know
Why haven't I
because
seen-
you haven't seen the Dawah program.
This Islamic Dawah team.
because,
Why haven't I seen it?
because you probably haven't done your research, but I have done my research. So it's not. I cannot curtail other people's ignorance.
But
to
my point is,
affairs.
I actually think the Muslims deserve credit for their behaviour down here.
How many times have you seen me threatened with knife
Trying to
attack
push
over here?
this narrative.
Several times.
Trying to push this narrative that the Muslims are all, you know, you can't insult the Prophet peace on down here. That's nonsense.
Did I push that
here all the
narrative?
time.
Let's
Yes.
get the words
Yes,
here.
you
No,
did. Yes, you
I'll
did.
explain
All of you
myself
did.
again.
All of you did.
Last week, a Jewish guy was here and they said, don't insult Aisha, don't insult the Prophet, you Jew boy. And then they attacked him. I went there to protect this guy from attack. And then I got also threatened, come outside. That is what I came here to talk. Do not change the narrative because it's disingenuous.
Bringing up one incident. I'm talking about speakers.
Right. So I don't agree with these starts. I do think there are a lot of Muslims that hear a lot of stuff, and I'm complimenting some of them, and they don't react. In the sense they argue, they believe in their right to do that. But there is a small core element that is very disruptive, and I'm going to call their names out. It starts with Muhammad Tawhid. When I first come in, threatened to knock me out. There's a lot of other people that threaten me that come from his kind of mindset. Now, I'm not saying you or Shamsi or any of these guys, because you guys are doing a dharma in an amazing way. But unfortunately, this small little minority, and I won't call them a minority, are so disruptive. Like last week, the videos that are going to come out of them, what they're doing is actually doing you a disservice. So what I was disappointed with was that I thought M-Stacks, Grey Dunya, Sheikh One, and a couple of people would have been pulled up by the Muslim brothers on the panel. But they weren't, apart from two people, I don't want to say the name, everybody else is saying, well done, you defended our Prophet, you defended Aisha. And that's not the way to do it within Speaker's Corner, it ain't the road. So I'm not saying that. I'm not agreeing. I don't think Muslims are coming down into.
But let me ask this: why is it that you guys can mention two people and hold into account the whole Muslim Ummah?
Wait, you guys mentioned two. I didn't mention any
You
names.
mentioned two people.
No, who did I mention?
You said two people came down.
I
and they
said
called you.
three
You did mention
people.
two people.
No, but I didn't mention their names. So I just said.
Did I say their
okay,
names?
okay,
Did I say
go
that? You
ahead,
said
go
two
ahead,
people.
go ahead.
That's what you said.
Well, you're getting triggered, James. You're changing your side to
My
blush.
name's Jordan. My name's Jordan.
Jordan.
I'm not getting triggered. I'm not getting triggered. But my point is, why is it when, for example, Bob the Builder hits someone with the Quran? I've seen other attacks down here. Why are they not? Why is everyone else not held accountable?
What do you mean? If
Why
you look
is
at
it
that
if
incident with.
if M-Stacks, this guy, has done something wrong,
It was
why
actually Grey Dunya.
why
Sorry,
are
can I just say
everybody?
something? It's Grey Dunya, I've just found out now, it's Grey Dunya that actually tried to attack the guy. So it's Grey Dunya. So Grey Dunya is a regular here. You should know better.
I don't really know what happened there, but if I brought you, an example of two Christians that was attacking somebody, am I going to come up to you and say,
No, give us the evidence to it.
If I did,
Where is the evidence? Don't make suppositions when they don't exist. I can give you an example. Three angels came from heaven and they smacked everybody on the back of the head. Let's try and talk rationally because there's a time that it gets irrational.
I'll give an example, and I've already said it. Bob the Builder hit someone around the face with a Quran.
What happened in that incident? What happened before?
Oh, you want the context?
No,
but we
if you
can't
want
get the context of the others.
Well, let's give you the context. Bob said he was hit on the foot, so
But also, Bob apologized.
You hit me on the foot now.
I wouldn't do
I am
that.
not going to strike you in the face.
Fantastic.
I'm not going to strike
But
you
I'm
in
not
the face.
talking about Bob. We're
Bob
talking about something
apologized.
entirely different.
Bob apologized.
Stabbed with an umbrella.
Bob
We
apologized.
can agree, Jordan, that what he did was, he just went too far.
He clearly not.
His
It's
reaction
amazing
was
how
too much.
he'll try and justify that, but the Muslim is doing.
I did not justify anything. I did not make. No. What did I change? Wait. Where did I justify? Don't use words.
Is it wrong?
This is another part of the deen of Islam.
Was it wrong?
Make yourself.
Was it wrong?
Be the victim when you're the aggressor. It doesn't work with me. I
How am I
don't
the
play this
aggressor?
game.
How am I the
I know
aggressor?
you're a nice guy, Jordan, but I don't hold blushes when I'm up against opposition. Last week I was threatened. There were 12 people circling me that are ready to do
It's on
violence.
camera. It's
I'm
on
not
camera.
taking this as a trivial issue.
No one's answered my
I'm
question.
taking
They're
it
dangerous.
very, very
Can I just say
They are
something?
not
They
guys
are
that I'll
dangerous.
play around with.
These guys are dangerous.
Well,
they
they threatened me with violence. That's all
Now
I'm
they're
saying.
turning the table
And that is
saying
a
that
fact.
Christians are attacking the
My
Muslims.
question is,
yeah, so what does this got to do?
I didn't say that.
It's
I
just
didn't say
changing the
Christians.
narrative
I didn't say that.
to
Did I
help
say
the
Christians are
Islamic
attacking
doctrine.
Muslims?
You did say something along those
The
lines.
point I was making is, if something bad happens down here, why is it the Muslims are all accountable, but no other people are?
Well, no, not all of them. We specified already that it's not all Muslims.
He mentioned
Can I explain why I
He said Islam.
I said the deen of Islam.
Raj and Steve were saying that it's Muslims
can I explain
down here.
why?
Muslims need to understand. Muslims.
all of them, literally.
I'm a
Let me,
Muslim.
I'm trying to be fair.
No, all of them.
So I'm trying to be fair. Look, when I see Christians, when I first come here, the Christians are being mocked mercilessly about Jesus come out of vagina, God's son. And I'm seeing shams and people that are respectful saying this stuff, and you're actually attacking their religion 24/7 by saying Jesus didn't die on the cross. So to them, it's blasphemy. So this is where insult is
I've been here.
subjective.
You won't see
Now,
Muslims
one
saying
minute,
that
one
around
minute.
here.
But to him,
It may be rare,
but to
we
him,
regard
but
you as a prophet.
But
We
can I
regard
just
you
say
as a
something?
prophet.
To him, you saying Jesus didn't die on the cross is insulting to him.
It's not insulting to me.
But I'm just saying, I'm just saying something. Because you're saying that he didn't die for the sins of mankind. You're saying there was another man put up there. So I'm saying some Christians might find it insulting, but you don't see Christians getting angry about that. The problem I have with the small, and I'm going to call them the small little bad apples, is that they use the religion in order to act like thugs. So when they were over there, they weren't going, we don't like you. They're going, don't insult our prophet, don't insult Aisha, don't insult this. Now, they've really got a problem with that guy. It's not the religion. They're using, I believe they're using religion as a way to dust. Muhammad Tawi did the other month, because Muhammad Tawi's a nasty speech. He uses the religion for his personal beef.
But basically, when I see an attack, if I find out someone hit someone else, I don't look for their religion to try and use it as some kind of bait for everyone else. There may be Christians attacking other people, but I haven't looked at it and tried to find out if they're Christians, because I don't want to use that, because it goes against Christianity.
Yeah, but I've never heard a single...
But you know that these behaviours go against Islam.
No, it doesn't in my view. But it might in your view, because you're a Muslim that doesn't live in the West. But what the point I was trying to make is that before the attack on this Jewish guy, they said you insulted our prophet, you insulted Aisha, you Jew boy. That is a religious statement. That's anti-Semitic. This is not rocket science. You don't need a brain. You don't need to read 50 books of literature. It's very simple. It's a racist attack. It's violence, and I was threatened for trying to instigate a peaceful reaction.
Change the word to Muslim.
That is simple.
If someone said you're a Muslim,
I've done nothing
you're a
wrong.
Muslim, and then you start attacking that person.
context, that's right.
And you're saying you're... Do you understand? We have to put it in very simple.
I haven't condoned this.
I know you haven't.
We're not saying
And the
that.
problem is there are regulars that are they're actually encouraging their behaviour. Yeah, and this is the problem. Like, there's so many people doing good dawah here, like Isa. I just spoke to him, like yourself, like Shaz, and other people.
Can I make one point?
But these guys, when they come just this one time, they're using your religion.
When I come down here,
in order for their personal beefs, is not right.
When I come down here, I've got no interest to go around and say to people, you know what, Christianity is not true. This is not true. Both of you yourselves are almost provocateurs of what I see. How can you say you're not? You go around the park saying bullshit jizya and all this kind of stuff. And yet then you're surprised when you get the odd response. I mean, you were talking about dying on the cross and all that. I understand that. That's you can critique Islam. You can talk about the age of Aisha. I understand why
I don't
people
do that. It's immoral. You see,
I've heard you talk about it.
No, I've not. Have I spoken about it? I don't deal with that.
Because we always
Go
say
and check all my
not the
videos.
morality stuff.
I don't do the morality. What we do is go on the theology. Go and check all the 11 videos I've done. No, I've said to you personally that we don't agree with your theology.
Oh, you might have said something personally, yeah,
but I don't go on camera.
Did I say on camera? Did I say on camera?
Did I say on camera?
But did he insult Aisha or did he talk about?
I've never had any insults from this gentleman.
No, I
Do you
don't waste my
know
time.
do you know how many insults I get on a regular basis about my turban, about the gurus, about when I'm walking past you?
Why do you think that is, right?
What I'm saying to you,
pigeon, right? All the time they call you pigeon.
No, I'm talking about religious stuff. Yeah, I know the pigeon. Everyone knows about that.
Why do people insult Raj? I don't get it.
Don't really
Why?
What I'm saying is that I have that as well, yeah. So it's not just a one-way street. I admit I am not.
You put yourself in a spotlight.
Yeah, and
you put yourself there, and you provoke.
All right, I don't believe I provoke.
But it's true.
I believe a lot of times. I don't just go up to
I'm not
people.
saying you deserve to be attacked.
I'm just saying I don't just go up to someone saying I ain't paying that bullshit jizya.
Yeah, you do.
They normally have done something to me, and then I'll react.
When I was in the park, you had this Shirkmas thing, and you would come up to me.
Yeah, that was Shirkmas funny. Next year as well.
So it's,
I mean, that's more fun though.
Okay, this has been very fantastic, the entertainment with you two gentlemen, and I really do appreciate. But like I said, what I wanted to do was conclude one very simple matter. We need to, whatever community you are in, whatever your beliefs, violence is not part of this place.
That's what
Speaker's
I wanted to correct you guys on. Well
so
done. So
there's
everyone
yeah.
should not be violent
So
towards each other.
if you
But
want,
can you
if
speak
you're
to your brother
Muslim
Ray Dunya,
and you're looking for
And
a
I do believe
positive role model,
the Muslims are good
follow
down here.
Jordan.
They're very patient.
I would
down
say
here. In general,
follow this
Muslims
man.
are very good down here. Don't follow the rhetoric
Jordan.
that the Muslims down here are violent, that the Muslims down here don't let people criticise.
Actually, Yakub is
they
James
do.
anyway.
They do.
That's
Come
a-
down and you'll see it. You'll see it.
I've never seen
You'll
that.
see it.
Okay, the second incident is that anti-Semitism should be not ignored in society. We need to stifle this because we have to look at where does it go, where does the line get drawn. If we allow people to attack other people because they're Jews, what next? If it was a few white guys that attacked a black guy and said the N-word, how would people react? The Muslim black males or the Christian black males. If what they call a couple of black guys attacked a white guy and called him something else, how would we feel? So we can't allow any kind of discrimination. If people are soft-hearted and can't take criticism of their faith, I'd advise you not to come here. There are a lot of provocative statements made. One example, Titus 3:11. We're allowed as Christians to rebuke false doctrine. So I can say that you have a false prophet,
Yes.
you worship a false God.
right.
My Bible gives me that authority.
yeah.
So I can do that according to my scriptures. And I will not deny that. I know in Islam you're allowed to fight the unbelievers.
You've gone from community and now you've gone back
I'm
to
just
Islam
giving,
again.
I'm
I was,
giving
I
you
was
an
following,
example.
I was nodding, and
Hold
now
on.
you've gone
It's
straight
about
back.
to go
it's
live and that's gone
it's
straight
whether
back.
you agree or not, but there's some things that the law of this country will be upheld above my beliefs. In this place, I'm allowed to express my beliefs literally.
In here.
That is all right. But when you start using violence, that goes against the laws of the land. And then you're
Can
falling
I ask you
foul.
one question? Did you report the incident?
No, I didn't because I wasn't the person
Oh,
attacked.
right,
I
so-
went there to as a peacemaker.
but this is
I was not involved.
This is one of the biggest problems we're having when we're talking about this, because everyone calls me a snitch. RAJ is always reporting to the police, but the problem is that people don't do it. So your video, I reported that to the police. They had no one else do it. So if they're not getting these reports, although they can't do nothing legally because no crime has really been committed, if they don't get the report, then there's no incidents on the log.
Yeah.
And so when they look at the yearly report, it's nothing happened at Speaker's Corner. Now, obviously, I take it a bit too far and I go mad and I report everything. But there have been certain things that I've heard in the grapevine that are very dangerous. So we need to start using the police as well. So anyone's doing anything wrong, even if it's me, even if I'm not saying report me to the police, but even if it is
We
me,
have no problem
then,
reporting.
but I'm just saying that even if it
I'm
is
all
me,
for it.
I've said to
And
the
if that's
police.
the case, I'd also advise Muslims to report, because at the moment
Yeah.
Muslims
Yeah,
don't.
yeah,
Muslims
right,
don't.
yeah,
Muslims
both
don't.
sides, everybody.
Muslims don't report as much as the other side.
I would say one thing in regards. I'm here as a missionary to preach the gospel. I'm not a law enforcement officer. I let those that deal with the law enforcement deal with that aspect. We really want to just preach. We're not really. We're not
I'd
interested in
recommend you
getting
should preach Christianity
inside
more.
the,
You should. People want to hear that
Well,
message.
we are on the pulpit. We're
I hear
one of
you.
the
I hear
few,
you. I hear you. I
with
listen to a lot
Pastor
of you
John,
guys, and
we're
like,
just preaching.
I want to
and
learn about
screaming.
the Bible.
Did
and
you get back to
Islam,
Christ?
Islam,
So
Islam, Islam.
let's get
Islam,
back to
Islam.
this.
Christ.
If
Fucking
anybody's
obsession.
talking about people preaching the gospel, no one can fault our church. Chris, you see us, we preach in other parts of London. You're very right there. So we do preach the gospel.
Don't talk a lot about Islam.
We don't talk about Islam, funny enough, but we. Do we? Do we? Do I talk about Islam?
Not so much him.
Dude, you might get Steve.
There you go.
Not so much him.
Yeah, there you
Not
go.
so much, but
so
he does.
a lot of people
He's an
have got
evangelist.
me mixed up with another missionary. That is not what I view. We're here to preach the gospel.
Yeah,
I
Jordan.
really am not
James.
interested in threats of violence. They will not be carried out, I can assure you that. And
Don't
number,
lie, James,
number
don't lie.
three,
We're standing here, and
We
you're
have
talking about
to-
Islam, and you're saying he doesn't talk about Islam.
Don't get me wrong.
people,
I'm
people
trying to be good,
are
man.
confronting me from that faith, and they're saying that insults to the prophets are being
Hard,
made.
yes, everyone do
So
it.
they're
Hard.
using the religion as a basis to, consolidate their position against
Come on, wrap
me.
it up, Jordan.
What
What
I'm
do you
trying to
got to
say
say?
is very simple. I'm really here to preach the gospel. You can see with Pastor John, he will confirm. We're not really there approaching Islam. We're just screaming Jesus is Lord.
Are you officially part of
Oh, there you go.
Apparently else that means he probably
Oh,
disagrees.
fantastic. I am not with DCCI, and I'll make the statement for the 11th time. I'm not with DCCI. What they do in their mission, I agree with 100%. Their channel says,
Why would a regular
defending
think that
Christ,
he is?
criticizing
Why would a regular
Islam.
think that he is? Why was that?
Defending Christ, criticizing Islam. That is their missionary. My missionary is very different. We're here to preach the gospel of salvation.
Yeah.
Christ died on the
Oh,
cross,
okay, well,
resurrected on the third day, remission of sins. That is what we're here to do. Now, there's another factor here.
You said we.
Yeah, we, the people in our church.
Who else is with you?
John Hudson, Corey, there's a few in the background. But in regards to this incident, why I tried to play peacemaker was very simple. I saw one guy being assaulted by a group of other people that said, you assaulted our prophet, and they said, you Jew boy. That is racist. And I, as a human being, forget my faith, I had to intercede by controlling the atmosphere with an assertive nature rather than an aggressive nature or passive aggressive nature. What I try to say to a lot of Muslims here that were offended by our rhetoric, I'm really here to preach the gospel. I'm not here to challenge the prophet. But as a Christian, Titus 3:11, I'm allowed to rebuke any false doctrine. So if I say your God is not the God of the Bible, if I say I don't believe in your
don't
prophet,
go down that
I'm allowed to do that. It's funny that you say that. Why don't I attack Sikhism or Buddhism or other?
He admits he attacked Islam. He just admitted it. Right in that comment.
We do talk about other religions that we don't believe in, but the reason is because when we are preaching, we have hecklers like what's his name, Uncle Abdul or whatever, that
Uncle Jamal.
Jamal
Big up,
that
big up.
start screaming or they try and keep us off the ladder. So you brought the attention to us. There you go.
He calls me Billy
Everyone
Elliot.
knows.
He
So
calls me Billy
He
Elliot.
calls Raj Billy
Biryani. Is that racist? Biryani.
I couldn't get away with that.
Oh my God.
I would like to thank all of you for your time. Thank you, Jordan.
Stay, Soco. We got something else coming up.
What I really hope is that a lot of other Muslim guys that are younger, they use you as a benchmark for their morality, that they keep themselves more
Great White
articulate.
Hope.
No, please, let's not
I thought
use
Tommy was
that.
the Great White Hope.
There are other Muslims here that are well articulate, they're reserved, they've got good character.
Not Muhammad
This is not
Tawhid,
to
though.
do with religion.
Not
What it is
Muhammad
to do with is
Tawhid.
attitude.
Stay at
What some
home.
of us as seniors
Keep us
need to
snapping
show
those
the younger
snaps.
guys. There's a way to behave in
Snap,
public,
snap.
and they should know that their bad actions do reflect on your religion. It's like if I'm a Christian and I go here now and I go and kick somebody's backside, a lot of people count my faith as being a failure. So this is another reason why we keep composure.
I agree with what you're saying,
Yeah.
and you disagree with Bob the Builder hitting the guy in the face.
I did not say I disagree. I said there was a reaction. I said there was a. No, I'll be very frank with you. There was a reaction there. It's not me that did it.
I think I'm all up for calling people out, as long as it isn't just
I won't
constantly
call
Islam,
people out
Islam,
in-
Islam.
Yeah, but you
I
don't-
will not call people out in an incident I was not involved with, because I was not that person. so I
It
won't
is
speak
true
for
to
another.
say that 95% of those people that have been given exclusion orders from Speaker's Corner are of a Muslim faith.
There you
Now
go.
that's not saying all Muslims
Is
that
that
come
true?
here are
Is that
violent.
true?
Yes,
I'd like
it
to see
is.
that. I'd like to see that.
Absolutely.
I'd like to see
Well,
that.
should we run through the names now?
Go on, Stevie.
Oh, do it.
I might need some help. So, Rat Boy, Uncle Omar, Mohammed Tarweed, Abdul Hamid,
The guy that smokes
who
a
else?
cigar.
Modine.
There's loads, but they're not important.
So you got a handful.
There's 18 members of
Suleiman?
Anjem Chowdhury's outfit.
Bilal-
So that's
Bilal-
add 18
Bilal-
to
Bilal-
5, 23.
I mean, he
Bilal,
covers up with
I believe,
violence.
so that's 26.
And can you name any non-Muslims that have been banned?
And
would you even know about it? Or care?
Rajiv, the guy that beat the guy with flat
Is
earth.
he,
Yeah, but
is he
he's
not
not
Muslim
Muslim,
or is he
he's
Muslim?
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay,
He's
well,
not. He's a
he's
Jedi.
So that's
I
one.
heard he's a Jedi.
Tan was never banned from
Is he a
Speaker's
Jedi?
Corner.
I
There's
thought he
the
was.
girl that attacks Steve Barnes, Isabella, so that's 2.
She says she's
Busker was
Yeah,
3rd.
Busker.
He punched Rat Boy.
Yeah.
So there are
Yeah.
that's 3 versus
5-3. No, but we did say the percentage
Yeah,
of
but they're
Muslims
from
was higher
different
here, didn't we? We did
so
say
we
so
say-
by
That was yours.
They're from different
I don't
demographics,
believe
though.
that's true,
They're not Christians and they're like atheists. There's a
Yeah,
guy
yeah,
that's a
they're
Jew,
not.
there's a guy that's a thingy.
They're not,
So
they're
I
not,
know
they're not,
Busker's
they're
actually
not,
half
they're
Jewish
not,
and stuff.
they're not.
But let's kind of wrap this.
Was Braden banned?
No. We need to talk about something else now. You know what? You know what?
Anyway, wrap it up.
Stand back.
Wrap it
Stand
up.
back.
Well, you
Summarize.
Jordan,
You
I'd
low
like
on
you
battery.
to-
So yeah, big up the Muslims for the patience.
Jordan, please start the wrap up. Do you have anything
You give us
you'd
a
like
wrap,
to address?
Jordan.
So the point I want to make is that obviously when I saw everyone,
Yeah, you gotta do it in rap
the Muslims are when I came over, it was the Muslims need to understand here, the Muslims need to do that. I made the points earlier that I think there are more Muslims
got a
here
lot
than
of editing to
non-Muslims,
do.
and there are also a lot more provocateurs against Muslims. So by ratio, you'd expect more incidents. I don't think there are. I think
you're being
the
provoked?
Muslims generally are very patient down here. I'm not saying there aren't examples, and you brought up one, but
up
I think
23,
this narrative that the Muslims down here are violent and you can't criticise the Prophet, peace be on him, is nonsense. Come down here and see.
Oh, tequila.
You can take
No,
it,
I don't think he's
now.
saying
Tequila.
tequila. That's your opinion.
Wrap up, guys.
I respect
Wrap
it.
People can come down and see it
So-
themselves.
all right, so
Everyone does it.
although I kind of agree with my Christian brother Yakub, yeah, that there is a problem. There definitely is. There's no way you can kind of not say there isn't, because I've experienced it and other people have experienced it. I gave an example when I was talking to people online, or giving them hypothetical. If you come in and said Jesus is X, Y, Z, what would happen to you? They will say nothing. If you said something about the Gurus, we'll be upset, but probably nothing. If you said something about Hinduism, nothing. But if you said something about Prophet Muhammad and Aisha, there is a chance that something heated will happen, or even somebody might intimidate you and threaten you. And that's undeniable. But I do disagree. I think it's a small component, but they are such a vile lot. And I'm going to name the names. Muhammad Tarweed is back. And he is one of the instigators of most of them. I've been threatened by him, lots of people have. You have M-Stacks that started coming from Birmingham. Grey Dunya was the one that is now being told is the one that allegedly tried to attack the guy, and he's a regular here. Sheikh One threatened acid on me, and he said he's going to come to my home, even though he's got my home address, and he's going to follow me home from Speaker's Corner, and they're always masked up and stuff. So there is a real problem. The Muslim community is just saying, oh, there's not a problem, it's not going to work, because you're making yourself look bad. When I jumped online, a lot of people, 90% of people are bigging up M-Stacks and all of those guys. Well done, you defended our Prophet's
I
honour.
saw all the videos. So
Now,
I
if
know
you
what-
don't want us to relate it to Islam, then when we see the video and people saying don't disrespect our Prophet, don't disrespect Aisha, this is why you're getting this, we're going to link it to Islam. It's not rocket science. Yeah, we will link
So
it.
at best they ignore the problem. At worst they actually big it up.
There was some-
And then when you get
One minute. There were two people, I don't want to say the name because they're going to get the stigma of the Raj, it's like a poison chalice. There were two people and they did give it to them and they were friends of them as well. They said that what you did was wrong, but everybody else was sticking up for them. from what I saw.
I'm not sure which two you're referring
Yeah,
to.
you are.
I'm only aware of
They're not
one.
from the party.
I'm only aware of one that has publicly spoken out against them, and he's been completely castigated by the group, thrown out Facebook groups, completely ignored for not changing his faith in any way, shape, or form, but simply speaking out against the thugs and speaking out against terrorism, and they've completely black sheeped him.
I will go down to the statement I made before. There has been a systematic pattern of missionaries here being intimidated by those of the Dawa crowd. I wouldn't say the popular Dawa members. There's a culture of intimidation. I think people
At
need
night
to,
as well.
at night,
Takes place
especially
at
at
night
night.
specifically.
There's been some missionaries that complained that they've been sexually assaulted. So, we need to be frank. I'm not a shrinking violet. I face issues that others are not ready to talk about.
This is what
and
happened to
I'm
the
just
Greeks.
saying that this intimidation tactic
This is the Greeks of today.
should not be made trivial. We need to know that somebody was attacked for being a Jew. We need to stop this kind of activity. What I believe, I really believe that law enforcement has to take place on these matters to try and keep those that will try and bring violence.
But you're not
as a
reporting.
solution. I was not involved.
I
was
know,
not
but
the
you
victim.
was. You was.
No, I tried to break up.
Dude, please.
The word snitch is not in my
Yeah, I'm not a
vocabulary. I
snitch.
can,
I
I
just
can
like
tell you
report to the
now.
police.
I agree with
It doesn't
you.
know
I
word-
agree
it doesn't
with you as well. You
exist.
should report it.
You should.
I
But then
report
we let one
crime.
go.
I
I was not the
report
one
criminality.
Not you, I'm not saying you mean that
Snitch is a meaningless word to me.
Intimidated. You must report because when we go to the meetings, the police meetings, they put out the kind of statistics,
Okay.
and they say no one's
All
reporting.
right. Let me speak on my behalf. I appreciate everyone's
Yakub. Go on, Jack.
mine's very big. My
Do you
mission.
make the yogurt drinks?
No, I don't.
You don't?
I don't. I got lactose intolerance.
Slander.
Close. Yakult.
Okay. All right. Yakub. It's, well, we'll get back to this.
Sorry.
A lot of missionaries here, we know that we'll suffer persecution. So this is why we tolerate it as Christians. I'm not upset with people threatening me with violence. I'm a big boy. I can get through. But there are some vulnerable people here that come here that are not necessarily
Don't shake
strong
the
enough
camera.
to defend themselves. Last year, a 70-year-old Jewish woman was found lying on the ground with blood on her head. She was attacked by Muslim antagonists here. They attacked her because she was a Jewish woman. A 70-year-old woman should not feel threatened to come here. Last week, a Jewish man was attacked. So this is a pattern. The same reason you insulted our prophet. I'll say this again. People don't like hearing the truth. The reasons were religious and racist. Simple. This is not rocket science. I don't need to get some Dawah manual and some excuses. Face the realities. Missionaries here are threatened. You are evidence. I've been threatened with being stabbed here, haven't I?
Yeah.
We've been beaten up
Yes.
more than 14 times. I don't say it. This is the first time I say it because I know nothing will happen.
No, it's not about. No, this is a problem that people don't understand. If the police are getting no reports, so when we go to the meetings and we're saying there's issues, they say, well, there's no reports. We need at least someone to log in.
Like I said, my faith teaches me that persecution will arise. I'm here to preach the gospel. I'm not here to play law enforcement. But I'm just saying that one day, if people are not checked, the community leaders of whether the Islamic faith or the people here, they need to show a kind of responsible approach to stop these guys from having these violent tendencies towards people that say a subject that's different to what they want to hear. If you come to Speaker's Corner, people offend you. I had a vegan say, don't have children or don't eat meat. I love meat. Nothing's going to stop me eating meat. Do I kick the vegan off his ladder? No, because that's his opinion, and I know to tolerate it. So if I,
Part of the problem is too much testosterone. They need to go and get a girlfriend or go home and have a five-knuckle shuffle. That will resolve the problem.
Not condone anything here. We will
And
stay
it's good to
silent. Plead
prevent
the fifth.
prostate
Plead the
cancer as
fifth.
well, by the way.
Plead the fifth. One second, we wrap up because me and Steve need to.
I'm not doing anything with it.
No, come on.
You guys, I'll leave the secular crowd. I thank you all for your audience. Thank you, Steve, for putting it on Twitter. Well.